Hi everyone, it's Carla from Casey Creates. And today I thought I would do two things. One, I'm trying to test out my camera on my laptop to see what quality videos it might make. And the other is I want to make covered books with the fabric that I like, which this one is a vintage floral looking fabric with some yellow pinstripes. It's real pretty. I was gifted some fab bedding, and it's got this same fabric. I think they were custom made because down in the bag of bedding there were remnants of fabric, and it says Ralph Lauren. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, so apparently it's Ralph Lauren fabric, and but there were remnants from like the dust ruffle and um, other pieces. So I thought this is a devotional that I like to use. I wanted to cover it because it's beat up and maybe use this on the bedside table. I thought it'd be pretty if it all matched. So I just folded the fabric to size. I used the one side that already has a hem, so it kind of gave me a head start. And now I'm just going to, let's see, I have a little sponge brush, the sponge brush here, and some Mod Podge, which is decoupage glue. And I'm just going to cover, I dumped that in a little too deep, but I'm just going to try covering the entire book with the glue. I do think you can do a slip cover that you could easily take on and off, but I'm just going to go for something a little more permanent. And I think if I measured correctly, this should go on well. So I have it on the back here. I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to do the same on the inside. I don't want to go too far in though, because I do want it to have I don't want the pages to fuse. So I'm going to put a little Mod Podge on the inside as well. And fold it over. I like when I've looked at bookshelves and you see really beautiful covered books in people's libraries where they have like velvet. I've also seen a design show where they literally hired them to do all of the books so that once it's lined up, it made an actual picture from them laying on the shelf. That might be hard to imagine, but so I've got that one glued. Now I'm going to do the front cover with some more glue. Well, this could end up being really easy and fun. I'm going to maybe embellish the cover a little bit too, maybe with a applique or something, since it doesn't have to stand side by side with any other books. This one's just going to lay on the bedside table. So there, I've got that covered. I'm going to wrap it over. So I used to grab these little devotionals to take with me to work, and one day my coffee splashed and got all over the ribbon, and so I'm going to take that ribbon out and replace it with another pretty piece of ribbon. That won't be hard to do. And then I'm just going to add glue again to the inside flap, just a little, and fold it over. So it's as quick and easy as that. And now I have a pretty fabric covered book. Another thought is because I do love pattern mixing, I have a bunch of pieces that I'm going to have fun with here in a minute. Um, and I might do some pattern mixing. If you have paperback books and you want the paperback to last longer, I'm going to cover this one the same way. Maybe I'll do this one. You can watch and we'll do one more. So this was really vivid white floral fabric and I tea stained it to give it more of a vintage look. So I'm going to lay this one out. Let's see if that'll be tall enough. Oh, that's going to work fine. So I'll cut it. And you know, if it's just your own personal book and you don't mind the unfinished edges, you really don't even have to finish the edges. I know some people would want it a little more neat, so probably wouldn't be happy with it being unfinished. But you could also put trim on the ends to sort of reinforce it and finish it. But here I go again doing all my guesstimating, you know me. I don't like to pull out a ruler if I don't have to. Okay. So now I'm going to iron a slight little finished edge. We'll try this one. Again, I'm just going to put Mod Podge on the cover. I have favorite movies I like to watch with each of my boys, and since my oldest son was little, we always watched You've Got Mail. And because she owned a children's bookstore, she always would mention the names of books that she, was familiar with. And there's a scene where she's in the fancy bookstore that caused hers to have to close down, and there's a lady looking for a specific book, and she's kind of sad and mourning the loss of her bookstore, and they asked about the name of a certain author, and she immediately knew and said, his name is Noel Strathfield, and he has ballet shoes and some other kind of shoes. But anyway, my husband, who picked up on that, went and looked for the book, Ballet Shoes, and he got it for me for one of my Christmas presents. So I thought that was really special because he clued into something little that he knew would mean something to me. It was sweet. Now I'm going to cover it. He won't mind. I think it's even prettier this way. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the back. Yeah, I'm such a I don't want to call myself sappy, but I just like the sweet kind of non-violent, girly kind of movies. Sometimes my husband will give in and watch one of my movies if I'll watch one of his, action-packed ones. And I do, to be nice. Not often, though. He's nicer than I am, I guess, when it comes to being willing to watch something you're not all that crazy about. I didn't do the spine on this one. Maybe I should have. Just pull it tight. I think that'll be okay. And then all I have to do is a little bit on the inside flap. Like so. Fold it over. It's still has all the author information and everything on the inside, so I don't feel bad for covering it up a little bit. And then I'm going to glue this one. Oops. Like so. There we go. That was really easy. I think it just makes the book so pretty. See that? So now I have 2 fabric covered books, 2 slightly different patterns. One is, but both floral and both somewhat vintage looking. So 1, 2, and then I have a thicker book. Where did I put that book? Oh, it's up here. You see, I love these boxes too. You can get them from Michael's. This one actually is from my special friend who knows I love Paris and anything Parisian looking and kind of vintage. And so that I didn't cover that. But I have this thick compilation of, who is she? A. Kingsbury collection. There are several stories in one. She's a Christian author. I think they're a little bit like romance mystery stories, but the book cover is not on here and it's kind of dirty. That's another good reason to cover a book. So I'm going to cover this one. Maybe I'll use my vintage pattern fabric, or I pulled out several options. I have a gingham here. And, oh, I know, this was a skirt I bought at the thrift store, and I love that one. I think this one wins. But I won't do that one on video because you've already seen me do 2. It's pretty straightforward and simple. So that was fun. It's super hot here. It's 115 degrees. I walked Rusty today, and that's what my phone said. So you'll find me right here doing crafts and putzing because I'm not going back out there. I'm not on the next dog walk shift. So anyway, it was fun, and thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time for Casey Creates.